Hello everyone, Patrick the Progressive here with a new Burning Media video, and today we will be going over the Grenfell Tower fire, which we have now found out has left 58 people dead. Now this comes in from a Reuters article that we found, and it has accounts of the police giving their input as well as a fire chiefs. So at least 58 people have been likely killed in the fire, which engulfed a London Tower block earlier this week, the police said on Saturday. Now, if this death toll is confirmed, it would also make the Grenfell Tower blaze the deadliest in London since the World War II. Now, sadly, at this time, there are 58 people who have been told were in the Grenfell Tower on the night that the fire happened. Now, these people are still missing, and therefore the commander said he had to assume that they were also dead. Now, Cundy also added that the figure could also change. Police previously put the death toll at 30. Now, the figure of 30 that he gave the other day is this number that he knows, sadly, that were dead. Now, that could include some more people, if that is right. So remember, originally they said 30 people are dead. Now 58 people is what they are saying are dead. Now those 30 people are also included in those 80 that are already, 58 that are already missing. So, keep that in mind. Now the Prime Minister, Theresa May, government earlier sought out to quell anger over the fire, pledging that they would support the victims of the blaze after protesters jeered her when she tried to visit the local residents. Now, May was rushed from a meeting with residents on Friday under heavy police guard as the protesters shouted, "Shame on you," and hundreds also stormed a local town hall calling for justice. Storming town halls. Sounds familiar, like all the people that were storming the town halls in the U.S. when their Congress people and representatives wouldn't answer the phone about the health care bill. It's almost like it's a worldwide thing that happens. When you don't listen, you're going to get called out. So, now, May, she was under guard. They are rushed back to the car. Now, after a botched snap election that lost her party its majority inside Parliament, May is now facing criticism for her response to the blaze, which engulfed the 24-story apartment block of a social housing on last Wednesday. Now, the residents of the destroyed tower said that May was far too slow to visit the stricken community, that the building had been unsafe, and that officials have failed to give enough information and support to those who have lost their relatives and their homes. So it's something that was known about before this even happened. They could have stopped this, because the people are saying that the installation that was used in this building is what caused the whole building to engulf in flames. And that is where I will slide us into this short video of some of the residents that live there talking about the installation being installed.
3.5 months ago, I was watching them coming in with the insulation, and I said to one of the workers, "What are you doing with this insulation? Why are you putting it in the building?" He says, "Oh, it's to keep you cool in the summer and to keep you warm in the winter." And I said, "Is it?" And I says, "Watch this." And I broke off a little piece of it, yeah? I put it on the back of my phone, and then after I put it on the back of my phone, I lit it with my lighter, and I watched that little piece of phone go fss, and I says, "You're putting that in this building, yeah?"
There were boilers in some places located next to doorways. So if a boiler caught fire, someone wouldn't be able to exit their property. There were boilers that were located above fuse boxes. There was always the concern there was one stairwell which went down out of the building, just the one. And the fire strategy was to stay put. There wasn't an evacuation test in the 2.5 years that I lived there.
Now, clearly in that video, you can see that something was not right when building this tower. This tower was built to burn down. I'm not saying that in a literal meaning. I am saying as it was built, the materials that were being used were not properly thought out or thought about for the safety issues, along as you noticed them mention that there was only one stairwell in this whole 24 tower building. Excuse me? Over 100 people live in this building and you have one stairwell. And also notice how the one resident said that the fire drill for this was to stay put. Stay put. Hey, I know your building's on fire, but we have one stairwell, so you might as well stay in your fucking apartment and burn, because that's the only option you have. I mean, it's that or you all scramble down the single stairwell to escape this burning building. What sense does that make? Now, May was asked repeatedly whether she had misread the public mood. May did not answer directly, but she did say that the focus was on providing the support for the victims. She made a statement in a BBC Newsnight interview. What I'm now absolutely focused on is ensuring that we get the support on the ground, May said. She also went on to go and say that the government is making money available, and we are ensuring that we're going to get to the bottom of what's happened. We will ensure that the people are rehoused, but we need to make sure that this actually happens. So, May on Saturday chaired a meeting on the government's response to the fire, where she also met victims of the fire in Downing Street. Now, alongside both police and fire investigations into the blaze, she was promised to set up a public inquiry. She also pledged £5 million, which is 6.39 million in American dollars, of support as for housing that guarantees and help to access bank accounts and cash for those that were involved in this fire. Now, those who lost their homes will be rehoused within 3 weeks, she said. And one of her closest allies, Damian Green, defended May on Saturday, adding that a team would go to the area to answer questions from the residents. So maybe they can find out why basically napalm was used for insulation inside this 24-story building, or why there was only one staircase to get out of this building. Or another question would be, why was the fire drill the go-to plan to stay in place and wait? Why was that the go-to plan? Why wasn't there more precautions in case there was a fire in such a big building? That are just some of the questions that I'd have to ask. Now, like I said, in Green's statement, he said that the Prime Minister is distraught about what happened. We're desperately sad. We're all angry, but of course none of us as angry as those who were directly affected by the fire. I absolutely get why they are angry, Green said in a statement, so he understands the frustration. Now, obviously, there is some anger in London from this. So while the blaze has prompted an outpouring of generosity with the people donating provisions and clothes, it has also unleashed rage from the public at the authorities, as the charred tower was cast as a deadly symbol of a deeply divided society. Now, angry protesters chanting "We want justice" also stormed their way into the Kingston and Chelsea town hall this past Friday. So after a turbulent 3 months, which has seen Britain scarred by 3 deadly Islamist militant attacks, and now the tower ablaze, Queen Elizabeth said the mood was deeply somber and that the British people were resolute in the face of the adversity. Now, she also had a statement on her birthday in regards to the fire. It's difficult to escape a very somber national mood. The country has witnessed a succession of terrible tragedies, but put to the test, the United Kingdom has been resolute in the face of adversity, Elizabeth said, and she went on to say that, united in our sadness, we are equally determined without fear or favor to support all of those rebuilding lives so horribly affected by injury and loss. Such a direct message from the monarch is rare and indicated that the extent of the turmoil currently inside Britain. Now, also, opponents said that May's handling of the fire has thrust her in position further to doubt by showing a failure to feel the public mood and act decisively. They are saying that she is not a viable PM in some terms. Now, after a tumultuous week that pitched Britain into its deepest political crisis since the Brexit referendum, which happened last year, May's future was already uncertain due to her failed gamble on this recent snap election where she lost control of Parliament. Now, Britain is most likely to go into talks this coming Monday about its exit on the European Union, which has weakened the leader who is dependent on a small Northern Irish party, Theresa May. Matthew Paris, a columnist and former conservative lawmaker, said that May's response to the fire had shown lack of judgment, which made her unsuitable to be prime minister. Now, in a statement, he wrote, "Wallowing in the wash of a general election that stripped our prime minister of her authority on the very eve of EU negotiations, neither common sense nor the evidence suggests that she can re-establish public confidence," Paris wrote in the Times. "The prime minister is not viable." So she is getting a strong whiplash from people of her own party. So it will be very interesting to see how Theresa May goes forward in the Parliament and so forth, with Jeremy Corbyn, also of the Labour Party, gaining great ground this past election. So they're going to have to form a proper coalition so they can get stuff done instead of bickering back and forth like the American two-party system has done so. So, until next time, please make sure to follow our Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube, and also follow us on SoundCloud. Have a great day.
And so the future's now the present and the past is now a lie. So let me tell you all the reasons why the tyrant never died. Because a tyrant is the face breathing underneath your skin. It's a pleasure pair of eyes.